in Egypt, we've had, of course, terrible violence, and the military has been attacking the Muslim Brotherhood, and we've got reports that the Muslim Brotherhood is fighting back in some instances. Well, we have one clear instance here where they were not fighting back. There was a protester, and as you're about to see, he put his hands up, and it sounds like the military was firing warning shots or shots in the area before they actually shot him. And now this video is fairly indisputable. It has been verified, by the way. It's got verified initially in a funny way. NBC News reported that Storyful had confirmed its veracity. So, okay, it wasn't enough that Storyful did it, but NBC News confirmed that Storyful did it. And then besides which, it doesn't matter because we got a second angle on it as well. So this is real, and it is very disturbing because you're about to see him get shot. But I think it's important because it gives you a sense of who's doing the shooting first. And in this case, it clearly appears to be the military. Let's watch. All right, that's very disturbing. Now, we've got another video that shows you more of what happened here. Let's watch. That almost has a Tiananmen Square feel to it, except this time he got shot. And so the first guy who gets shot was in the second video we showed you there, and he's got his hands clearly up. He's got a white T-shirt, clearly not armed, and they just mow him down. And then
that was the guy who was picked up.
Yeah, that's right. And then after he gets picked up, the guy who picked him up also shot. Look, when Al Qaeda does it and they hit first responders, I say it's the most heinous thing you can do. Unfortunately, when we do it, the United States government does the drone strikes, sometimes does double taps, kills the first responders. It's the most heinous thing there is. And when the Egyptian military does it, and you see it with your own eyes there. As much as I can't stand the Muslim Brotherhood, I think they're 100% wrong. You don't ever do this to anybody, obviously. And so, God, have they lost the moral high ground in a huge, huge way.
I'm not. Where's the gunfire coming from that we're hearing before the guy gets shot? I mean, they're all standing there.
So I saw a longer version of the video, Ben. It's a good question. You see the unarmed protesters walking towards the tanks. The tanks are lined up. They're walking towards the tanks. They don't get anywhere near the tanks. They get close, but not within a danger area. It's not like the tanks are going to be overrun. And they all have their hands up. They're moving up as they have their hands up. Then you begin to hear the gunfire, and most of them retreat. So it appears that the gunfire is coming from the military, maybe firing over their heads. They retreat, except for that one young guy who remains there, and then they shoot him.
We also have to bear in mind that it's unlikely that that confrontation that we were viewing is the only one going on. And of course, you can hear the gunfire from quite a distance.
Yeah, but that was so loud. Those guys. I mean, the fire. I don't know, but the firing over their heads makes some degree of sense. Although those bullets are going to go somewhere. But that at least rings true a little.
Yeah, and I was reading reports about people are worried that some of the areas that the protesters are sort of congregated in leading into the night, which is going on right now, the Army vehicles were starting to block off streets leading out of that area, and it felt like a trap was being set up for them. Now, so we might be hearing reports in a few hours of more mass violence. And at this point, I don't understand psychologically what the Army is thinking. And there was no threat there. There was no even just perceived threat. Like, you can talk about terrorism as the Army chief did, but I wonder if it's just they feel like the international community isn't going to do anything. So, this is our chance to get back at them. They have these long-held grievances, perhaps. But I don't know. I mean, they're obviously killing unarmed civilians without any provocation.
I think that, if you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail, and they think maybe we just deal them a blow they can't recover from. And the U.S. and the international community, since it's Muslim Brotherhood, will not back them up. We just do it now, and we don't get into a long, bloody war like Assad did in Syria. We just show a huge sign of force, and we show we mean business by killing them almost indiscriminately. But that is not, in fact, that's exactly what Assad did and wound up in a giant civil war.